right. Let's see here. Okay. Perfect. All right. Sound check. Good. All right. Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to Marcellus Presents This Is Our Time. We have a very special guest with us today. We have Mr. West here. I want to make sure I say this right. Mr. West Gillum.
Wes Gillum.
Mr.
Gillum. What they used to call me Gillum in my wrestling days.
Woo! Wow. Well, welcome, Mr. West, and thank you for coming and taking the time out with us. All right, so do me a favor, Mr. West, if you can go ahead and introduce yourself to the fans.
My name's Wes Gillum. I'm a full-time actor and model. I'm retired, and I'm loving it a lot just doing this acting thing. I'm a single dad. I have a 16-year-old daughter that I split raised with her mom, and I have a 26-year-old daughter that lives in Kansas.
Perfect. Well, thank you for that amazing introduction. All right, so we're going to start with our first question, okay? What year did you start acting?
I started acting in February of 2023, doing some background work for some Taylor Sheridan projects.
Okay. And can you kind of tell us how was it for your first time?
Oh man, it was great. It took me about a month to get on the set. They never cast me as background. And finally, I kept calling them on the phone and bugging them, and they relented and got me in, and they liked my look. It was for Lawman Bass Reeves, and I ended up being 7 different characters in the background for that series. I was shown on TV about 18 times, and I had a blast. Just had a blast. I think I was 32 days on set for that season.
Ooh, for your first time too. Ooh, 32 days. Man, I've been there, I've done that, so I know exactly how it feels. But it's worth it. It's worth it. Definitely worth it. All right, so for my second question, what inspired you to pursue acting as a career?
Well, I was working in a warehouse, and I come across this ad on Facebook for the background characters, and once I got on set, I knew that I was enjoying it, and it came natural to me, and I knew that I've been told that I have a distinctive look and I grow a beard out or just have this big mustache. My hair comes down to here, and I just cut it off where it comes down to here, but it's pretty long, so I can portray all kinds of different characters. And then that just become a lot of fun. And people started noticing me and giving me opportunities. And I've been blessed to be busy for 2 years straight.
Wow. And the fact that I can tell that you're humble, that's what I love. I love that. So let me go question 3 really quick. 1 second. So, Mr. West, how do you prepare yourself mentally and emotionally for an intense or dramatic scene?
Well, if it's going to be something that's a sad scene or something other, I put myself in a position to go back to certain things that have happened in my life and that, made me cry, and I'll utilize that as a motivation. And if it's just something that I've never been a part of, I just picture myself of how I would be that character and what that character would do in that situation. And then I just become that character. And once you can become that character, even when you're studying lines, if you can study your lines and repeat them while you're folding laundry or something other, then you're multitasking as that character, not as yourself, and you become that character more.
Yep, that's true. I've been there and done that as well. That is true. Good answer. All right, so number 4. Is there a particular actor or director who has influenced your craft?
I don't really think so, because I think I'm concentrating on me as an individual, and I pick up so many things on different people's the way they do things. Example, when I was on Bass Reef set, Dennis Quaid and David I was background right next to them, and they're in a break before their scene gets taken up again, and I see them talking to each other, and I'm listening, and they're just giving their lines back and forth. They're not saying them like they're going to say them on camera, but they're saying, I have a six pack of beer. Okay, you have a six pack. They're just having a conversation, but it's their lines back and forth. And I learned that that's how they study in the off time and to get things going. So if you're observant and you pick things up like that, then you apply it to yourself. So that's a good thing. That's a positive thing.
Ooh, you say Dennis Quaid?
Yes.
Oh man, Dennis Quaid is an amazing actor.
He sure
Amazing
is.
actor, man. He's from Texas, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's from
Yep.
Texas. Wow, man. I love that. So, how do you stay grounded in an industry that can be unpredictable and intense?
Well, it's kind of tough because I'm a military veteran and I bleed red, white, and blue, and I speak my mind, and I'm not afraid to do it, even if it causes a few bridges here and there. But I try to speak truth and give my perception of what's right and what's wrong, and if I see some people taking advantage of fellow actors or whatever, I'll stand up for them because maybe they're too afraid to speak their mind, but not me. I say it how it is, and we're all one big team. We're all one big family, and each set needs to be treated like that. No one's better than the other. We're all part of the film, and that's the way we need to look at projects.
And I definitely agree. And we need more people like you. Because I've been in situations where, oh man, a lot of people are afraid to speak up, like you said. They'll sit there, they'll take all the abuse, and when they get home, it comes out. But
Right.
yeah, we definitely need more people like you. So that was perfectly said. I love that. So, Mr. West, what do you look for in a script or role before agreeing to a project? Like if I say, "Hey West, I have this script. I want you to, I want you to act out for me. I have a character, and it's a difficult character. So I would like to know how would you what do you look for in the script to say, hey, this is for me."
I like portraying all different types of characters. And, last year, about this time last year, there was a black gentleman that wrote the script, and his partner, person of a color also, but the character was a racist character. I mean, very racist character. And I was concerned about it, and I even posted on Facebook, what do I do? Do I do this? Do I do this? Do I do this? And the bottom line that I come up with was, it's acting. And this wasn't written by a white character. This was written by a person of color. And so he's there with me on set. So me portraying this character like that was just part of his vision and his story. And it actually became a much better challenge for me. We had this one scene where I had a 2-minute long vocal that I'm giving to a whole group of people. And I nailed it in the first take, and it was just so powerful. And it was that moment that I realized that I'm in the right spot. I know I can compete with others in the industry.
Mm-hmm. You're in the right field. So let me ask you this: if you're in a room with Denzel Washington, if you're in a room with Ryan Reynolds, and another one of my favorite actors is who would I say? Oh, I have so many, man. This is an awesome question. So, if you're in the room with these three guys, and you have Steven Spielberg in the room with you guys, and he passed your script and say, "Hey, I need all four of you to act out this script," what would make you stand out from these three men?
Well, one, I'd take charge. I wouldn't wait and I'd be respectful, but I wouldn't wait for the powerful Denzel to do his thing. You got to stand out in the crowd. You got to make yourself different from somebody else, and that's what I would do. I would make them remember me. I just did an audition for a commercial, and they wanted an improv on the scene, and this was a major beer commercial, national commercial. And it's in a sauna area, and I walked in with a cowboy hat hanging on my crotch. and the line was that I made up was, can you help me find the sauna room? I couldn't even find the hat hook, so I had to make do. You just got to stand out in the crowd. Even if I don't get the part, they're going to remember me for that. I'm going to stand out in the crowd, and I would emphasize people doing things to where they put themselves out there, step out of the box a little bit, and make people remember you. Even if it's not getting the part, they're still going to remember you and go, wow, he had a lot of guts to do that.
That's right. And that was funny. And the fact that was the perfect answer, because I've always put myself in that position as a writer and a director. So anytime I do auditions, I always look at the person that's stepping outside the box. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody in the room try to do the same thing. It doesn't work.
Right.
So that's what I look for. I look for people who think outside the box. That was amazing, Wes. Thank you for answering that.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right. So another good question for you, Wes. Before we dive a little deeper, how do you handle rejection or criticism in your profession?
The criticism hasn't really come yet, and so I don't know how to answer it on that. Rejection, it sucks, but as long as you know you did your best, and then that's all you can do, unless you're working with some casting department that's got something out on you or whatever. I don't know, but I think if you give it your all and you perform your best, you've already succeeded. You set your goals, you reach your goals, you surpass your goals, and the goals don't have to be to get the part. It's just to be convincing to yourself that you are that character.
That's right. That's right. So what would you tell to our listeners and watchers right now who has been in the industry for years and have never achieved a goal as landing a lead role, but have always been rejected? What would you tell that person right now watching?
I'd say not give up, and take a look back and see everything that you've been doing. And if that's not working, you got to change it up a little bit, whether it's doing what I just did, taking a break while you talk, and not just be going boom, 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 boom. Just sit back and answer the questions with a little pause in yourself, and that might help you out in becoming more of a unique character that they're going to think is actually doing a good performance.
That's right. That's right. And I hope you guys who's ever watching and listening, trust, man, we definitely understand rejection. And I mean, it's a life lesson. I've been rejected so many times to a point where I had to sit down for a second and ask myself, why? Why am I being rejected? Is it me? Is it my acting? Is it my skill? My professionalism? What is it? I could never figure it out until I had to sit in the mirror and I told myself, this is who I am. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I could do is upgrade myself.
Right.
So I was able to get these scripts. As I started, as a youngin', I started writing my own scripts. I used to study them. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I became a better actor as well. So that was good. Thank you, Wes. I appreciate that. All right. So last question before we dive into your movies. What advice would you give an aspiring actor that's trying to break through the industry?
First thing I would say is even if you're just background, or just have a small supporting role, whatever, when you have downtime on the set, observe everything else that's going on around you. Find out what the different cameras are, the different lighting systems and everything, and utilize all the time that you have on that set for that day, because you may not be on set for another week, but learn every aspect that you have. When I was on the Bass Reeves set one time, we had filmed for 14 hours, and it's very early in the morning, and I was pretty tired. And they had this big setup where they had all their monitors at, 3 big monitors. This Taylor Sheridan, they got the money, and they had it set up in 2 tents where they had 3 rows of 10 seats, and everybody was watching this stuff. And I just went in there and plopped down in a chair, and I sat there for 2 hours and watched how all this stuff went behind the scenes. And whenever you got the chance just to pick up something new that you can learn about it, it's going to help you out in the long run. And just ask questions and watch others. Watch the seasonal professionals. When I worked with Donald Sutherland and I got to watch him, it was just amazing to watch this old guy just breeze through things. It was just very, very rewarding.
Wow. I love that. That's perfect, man. So I did my research on you, man. You have some amazing movies that's coming out. If you don't mind, can I start off with what caught my interest was Crazy Texas. Let's talk about that.
Crazy Texas is on Amazon Prime right now. It was just released a week or so ago, and it was my first lead role. Wow. And we filmed it about 15 months ago, and it's a psychological thriller, and Half the time I am a well-dressed psychiatrist, physiatrist, and the other half I'm an evil son of a bitch, man. it, it's a story that you don't know what's real, what's not real. It's set
Hmm.
in the atmosphere of the kind of like a psychiatric ward, and I am the head doctor that's treating all of these patients. And it was a lot of fun, and we just had so much talent that was on that film, and everything just came together really, really well. And for Francis and Jordan, the director and producer, they just let me run with things and let me be myself, and then it was a lot of fun, just very very fun experience. I even got my daughter in on it as in the background singing some Christmas carols, so that was pretty cool.
Hey. Shout out to your daughter, man. That's amazing. That is amazing. I definitely want to check that out. So I'm definitely going to check that out. You guys make sure you check it out. It's on Amazon Prime. The name of it is Crazy Texas, and he plays Trevor. So definitely check that out. So my second film, me and my wife was looking at, it's called Summer of Blood. Let's get into that. Tell us a little bit about that.
This is a Charles Manson story, and it's from a total different perspective. They had created a short film for it already, and very well, kind of like a documentary style of all the murders and everything they took on. And then they decided that they wanted to have an interview with Manson, and that tell the story of everything that they already had in the can. And so I auditioned for Elder Charles Manson, and after the third callback audition, they wanted me to do this one scene again for him, and I went out of the box and I had researched and I recreated his own speeches and mannerisms or whatever, and immediately they hired me for the part. And my section was filmed all in one day, and they were interviewing me in prison. Had a had a guy there doing the interview, and it's got a nice little twist at the end, but it was a lot of fun, very much so.
So let me say this. I want the listeners to understand what you just told me, what you just told us. Now, to prepare for a role like this, a lot of people don't do their homework. Please understand that. I'm a screenwriter. I have my own production set. When I tell you, I know when my actors do their homework and when they don't. So the fact that you said that you went in and you did your research, you learned about this man, and you switched it up to your own. That's powerful. And the fact they called you back after you did that, Wes. So to my listeners, man, I need y'all to follow directions. When it comes to a script, make sure you do your homework. No matter if it's about somebody who's been through something in life, or if it's about a moment in life, or whatever it's about, make sure you do your homework. So that was perfect. That was perfect. Thank you for that, Wes.
You're welcome.
And then another movie, there's actually two more I want to get into. It's one that you're writing, I'm very interested into. And then, you know what, actually, I want to talk about this one. This is interesting right here. So, Lady Outlaw. Let's
Oh
talk
yeah.
about that. Yeah, we are. CFB is very interesting. So, let's talk.
Well, Brett Mauser hired me to be a marshal on this movie, and it's an Old West movie, and it's about a female. Her name's Lisa, and portrays the character, and she's got to make some tough choices, whether to be an outlaw, whether not to be an outlaw, and that's what the whole movie is about. And my character is one that is hunting her down, but at the same time letting her make her own choices. And it was brilliantly written, and direction. I won Best Supporting Actor for this role in largest Western genre film festival in the country, the Wild Bunch Film Festival last October. And I give all thanks to Brett. He directed me on how to say a few certain lines of what he visioned, and so I just followed his instructions, and but at the same time made it my own. But he had such a vision for this project, and it was well received. And I actually have a festival coming up the 27th of this month in North Texas, and Lady Outlaw is nominated in 11 categories, and I have once again been nominated as Best Supporting Actor.
Wow. So, we definitely want to support you on that. And what's the date?
it's on the 27th is the film festival, but you can watch this movie on Amazon Prime also.
Okay, it's available right now.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Maybe make sure you write that down because I definitely want to watch. Okay, perfect. Okay, and then so Mr. West, tell us what do you have going on for yourself right now?
Well, I've been writing my own project. Every actor that I know of has aspirations of doing their own writing, and the bug bit me, and I had completed the script, and it's a faith-based story, and it's a 2 hour and 10 minute long movie, and basically it's 90% true story about myself and my daughter. One day I woke up and it's like, wow, she's 16 years old. She's going to be out of the house here someday soon. And there's just so much I've yet to teach her. And so I decided to write a movie about that and call it Life Lessons. And every scene in the movie represents a certain life lessons. You heard me earlier say, set your goals, reach your goals, surpass your goals. That's one of the things I teach my daughter. But that's one of the scenes in the movie. It describes and depicts that set of values right there. Then every scene depicts another set of life lessons, and I realized that this gets me choked up a little bit.
No, take your time. Take your time.
That I haven't been the one teaching her all the time. For the most part, she's been the one teaching me.
Wow.
And when you're touched by that, when you're given that gift, and then you put it into a movie, and a lot of the movie depicts how there's different characters that are all coming to one place, but one's coming from Florida, one's coming from Kansas, and three are coming from Texas, and they all meet in the same place. But my daughter in the movie, she has touched all of their lives in different ways. And so it just shows that, if you do things right, if you're a good person, you affect other people's lives in it, and it goes on and carries forward. And the whole point of the story is to bring the child into the faith and teach her the most important life lesson of all, which is how to get into heaven. Wow. And then I had a kink in it where the place that I wanted to film all of my faith-based, what everything was based around, they decided not to let me film at the location they're going. There's a major place in Missouri, and they're going, the owner of the place just passed away, so they're having their family struggle. So that struck down, 50% of my location shooting. So I had to come up with a new idea. And right after this happened, I got a text message, and I'm at medieval times trying to become a king over there. And I got a text message from a child in Kansas, and said she was my daughter, and found me through DNA. And man, I started to cry. It's like, wow, this is so cool. And long story short, it's great, fantastic, man. I just told her, I said, hey, I never knew, I had no clue. All we can do is go forward from today. We can't change the past whatsoever. And we've gotten together once a month ever since. And she's coming to my film festival next month. But now I'm writing that into my story, and where the sequel to the movie is going to be Life Lessons to Live By, and it's going to be the number 2, not T-O, and it's going to be about my 16-year-old daughter and now my 26-year-old daughter, how they bond and form their relationship and base their life lessons, learnings on the teachings of their father.
Wow, man, that is beautiful, man. And as a screenwriter, you're on the right path. You're on the right path, man. I could definitely say this. Well, let me ask this, because I know the fans are going to ask. Will you be casting?
Yes, I have. I've got quite a few of the roles already taken care of, but I'm one that tries to pay it forward and get as many people into the project that I can. And funding is the big issue. I'm new to the funding aspect, but right now I've got, I believe, 40 different characters that will be paid characters to be on this project.
Wow. So can you tell them where they can reach you to send resumes or to send any information towards the movie?
My Facebook is Wes Gillum, and you'll see me with my two girls on my profile picture. And once I get to that point, I monitor and I use my Facebook as my promotional place. I don't get much on Instagram, even though I have an account, but I have so many people that are watching me progress in this acting business that Facebook is my platform. So everything I do, it comes out on Facebook, and I will post that.
Yes, sir. So make sure. I know normally everybody send messages afterwards, but yeah, make sure you guys follow him on Facebook if you're interested. But this is going to be an incredible movie. I can tell you're on the right path, man. You're on the right path, and you definitely have my respect and love. Definitely. So before we end, man, I always ask my actors or anybody I interview. We have this thing to where I ask what time it is, and once I say it, you're going to say this is my time. But I want you to say it with power in your voice. Okay? All right. 3, 2, 1. Hey, Mr. West, what time it is?
This is my time.
Woo! Well, thank you again for having us, man. And I'm sorry. Thank you for coming on the show. Let me say it like that. I do apologize for that.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Did you have anything else you want to say before we end it?
Oh, I just want to say God bless America, and if you walk by and you see a soldier or a police officer or a fireman, walk up and shake their hand and say, man, we appreciate your service to country. And that's one of the biggest things you can do on the daily everywhere you go, and just make these people feel appreciated, because we sleep under this blanket of freedom every day, and we have the right to do our bitching and our protesting and all this or whatever, but somebody provides that blanket of freedom, and be thankful for that.
Yes, sir. And Mary, I salute to you. And I also want to say, my wife's gonna come on really quick. She's a veterinarian too. She's from the Navy. Air Force. Okay. I'm sorry, Air Force. You want to come say hi really quick? So this is my wife, Pamela. It's awkward. This is Mr. West. So
thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. How long you been in the service for?
I did 6 years. 6 years active, 2 years inactive reserve. But yes.
So she's one of them. So just want to say thank you again, man. We appreciate you. Definitely appreciate you. So on the next time we see you, man.
All right, man.
All right. Thank you. All right, turn this off first. Oh, okay. There. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Let me end stream 1 second. Hey, do I need to hear Ellie?